and we are going to get into the next part of our lesson for Unit 4. So the lesson focus for this section is the simple present of the verb have or to have. Okay, to have. So that's going to be our lesson focus. But let's talk first. Let's just do a quick review of what we've studied so far. When we talk about health problems, right? What are some health problems? We've talked about having a backache, a cough, a headache, a broken leg, an earache, a sore throat, sprained ankle, a toothache, a fever. And that's when, you've got chills and you're hot, your mouth gets dry, so you're dehydrated. Also, we talked about, diarrhea, stiff neck, or cold, right? So let's talk about some of these again. A backache, it's your back, right? And a cough, cough. Of course, we've seen a picture of a broken leg, a sore throat. When you go to the doctor, you're going to want to be able to tell the doctor what's wrong with you, what's going on with you, right? So words, how you say what's wrong, one way that you say what's wrong is I have. Or maybe you're talking about your child. She has, right? So here I have a cold. If I had a runny nose, my nose is runny. That's something we can say right here, runny nose. My nose is runny. I'm coughing. I have a fever, so I have chills. I have a sore throat. My throat is sore. You can say, I have a cold. If you're talking about your child, she has a cold. He has a cold. So let's go through. First, turn to page 46. I'm so sorry. Turn to page 46 in your workbook. Page 46 will look like this. Okay. So I have, you have, he has, she has, and if we come back over here, I kind of go through some more. These are all singular. It has. Maybe you have to take your dog to the vet. Let's say your dog gets sick. You have to take your dog to the vet, or some other animal, maybe your cat or your turtle, right? It has, okay? And then we have, let's say your whole family is sick. We have a cold. We have a stomach ache. Or you're talking about more than one child. They have a headache. They have a toothache, right? If you see here in your book, you can go to page 144 for the complete grammar chart. And that's for the simple present of have, but the complete grammar chart they're talking about basically is just the same thing right here. I have, you have, he has, she has, it has, we have, they have. Repeat after me. I have, you have, he has, she has, it has, we have, they have. Okay, and that's how you would describe your illness. Okay, what's wrong with you? Now let's look over here where it says useful language, and you see it adds some words in here, right? I have a terrible cold. I have a bad headache. And these words describe the word cold or the word headache. In this case, a cold and headache are things, so they are nouns, right? What part of speech is a thing? A thing is a noun. But when we get more information about a thing, we get more information about something, that's called an adjective. So in this case, terrible describes more about the cold. It gives us more information about the cold. And so terrible is an adjective that describes cold. Bad is an adjective that describes headache. It gives more information. Here's why that's important. If you go to the doctor's office and you say, I have a terrible cold, right? That lets the doctor know that your sickness is that you really don't feel well. So adjectives are helpful because they give the person you are talking to, they give them more information about what you're talking about what's wrong with you. And so it's helpful for the doctor. If you go to the doctor and you say, I have a headache, sometimes they will say, well, on a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 being okay, and with 10 being crazy bad, ugh, right? How bad is it? So they like adjectives. Doctors like adjectives. They like you to give them as much information as possible. Okay? All right. So, all right. Okay, so I want us to watch a video. I can't get it to play on the computer, but I have it on my phone. So let's watch it on my phone, and then we will go from there.
Simple present of have. Unit 4, Lesson B. I have a headache. Watch and listen.
I have a headache. You have a sore throat.
He has a cold. She has a cough. Check your understanding. Look at the picture. Complete the sentence.
I have a headache.
Look at the picture. Complete the sentence.
You have a sore throat.
Look at the picture. Complete the sentence. He has a cold. Look at the picture. Complete the sentence. She has a cough. Let's review.
I have a cold. You have a cold.
He has a cold. She has a cold.
Okay. I hope that was helpful. I hope it wasn't backwards. I'll see when I review the video. Hopefully it wasn't backwards. I wanted to try something a little bit different so that you guys aren't always just hearing my voice. But it was kind of hard trying to find this video online so that I could play it for you to see, and it's hard for you to hear it online as well. So hopefully I'm crossing everything. Hopefully that worked out okay. If not, I'm so sorry. um, okay, so right there, you got a taste of, um, you got a taste of, I have, okay, and what you say when you go to the doctor. So let's look at the exercise on page 2A, right? And we are going to complete these sentences using either has or have. We're going to use has or have. Okay, so we're talking about he. He is our subject. So if it's he, which one do we use? Do we use has or do we use have? So he's blowing his nose. We see here a terrible cold. He has a terrible cold. I'm going to pause the video. Well, no, I can't pause the video because then you won't be able to see the page if you don't have the page. So I guess we'll just kind of go through each one. Some of you have the book, some of you don't. So for those of you who don't have the book, I can't pause because then you won't be able to see. But you can pause. You can pause on this page. So let's do that. Why don't you pause on this page right now and go through each one, write the answers for each one. You can write it in the comment section of the YouTube video, or you can write it on a text message and send it to me, however you want to do it. Okay, so pause, and then we will go through it with the answers. So I'm going to pause it right now. Okay, so we're back. And I'm guessing that you guys paused the video. Hopefully you paused the video. And now you're ready to go through the answers. Okay. So I have a headache. I have a headache. He has a backache. He has a backache. He's holding his back right here. He has a backache. Here, we've got a thermometer. What's this? This is a thermometer. And they're touching his forehead to check his temperature to see how hot he is. You have a fever. You have a fever. I have a broken arm. Here's a broken arm right here. I have a broken arm. He has a stomach ache. He has a stomach ache. She, okay, she has a bad cough. She has a bad cough. You have a sore throat. You have a sore throat. Right here, our finger, she has a cut. She has a cut. Okay? So repeat after me. He has a terrible cold. He has a terrible cold. I have a headache. I have a headache. He has a backache. He has a backache. You have a fever. You have a fever. I have a broken arm. I have a broken arm. He has a stomach ache. He has a stomach ache. She has a bad cough. She has a bad cough. You have a sore throat. You have a sore throat. She has a cut. She has a cut. Now I want to come over to this page because we're going to talk about how to talk about health problems. And I just kind of wanted to give you some extra information or some added information that's not, necessarily in the book. So let's go through this right here. So I'm going to just kind of read through, okay, and we will talk about it. In life, one of the most important things you can do is to look after your health. When we have a health problem, we can go and see a doctor. Here, we take a look at the English you need to discuss bad health. Discuss means to talk about, okay? To discuss means to talk with someone, okay? So a discussion involves more than one person. Of course, some people do talk to themselves, but that's not called a discussion. That's called crazy. I'm just kidding. I talk to myself all the time. Okay. So the first thing you want to do when you are feeling sick, when you are not feeling well, is you need to make an appointment. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Make an appointment. So you're going to call, to make an appointment means you're going to call the doctor's office. An appointment is a meeting, is another way of saying a meeting. Okay, an appointment is when you set aside time, schedule time to meet with someone. In this case, you're going to set aside time or make time to meet with your doctor. Okay. And the reason you have to make an appointment is because doctors are busy people. Doctors are busy people. So you call their office, the clinic, and you make an appointment. And here's how that conversation would go. You would call the doctor's office and you might hear, hello, Dr. Smith's office, right? When you call, right? And then you would say, good morning. I'd like to make an appointment to see the doctor today. Repeat after me. Good morning, or maybe it's afternoon, or maybe it's evening. Good morning or good afternoon. You want to call in the morning, though, as soon as you can. Good morning. I'd like to make an appointment to see the doctor today. Again, good morning. Repeat. I'd like to make an appointment to see the doctor today. The receptionist, the person who answers the phone, who is talking to you, they might say, the doctor is busy this morning, but he is free this afternoon. Is 2:00 okay? That's one thing that they could say. Or they might just simply say, okay, what time would you like to see the doctor today? Okay, what time would you like to see the doctor today? Or they might say, we don't have any appointments available today. Can you come tomorrow? So be prepared for different situations. The doctor's office might be fully booked. When it's fully booked, it means they have no time, no extra time available, that a lot of other people are already going to the doctor's office, so they don't have any time to come and see you. They don't have any time for the doctor to see you. In any case, just be prepared to give them a day and a time that you can come. Unless it's an emergency, then you want to tell them it's an emergency, and they might tell you what to do at that point. But let's say you do get to see the doctor the same day, or when you get to see the doctor will want to know, what are your symptoms? Your symptoms is where you tell the doctor what's wrong, right? So they might ask you, when you see the doctor, they might say, what's wrong, right? That's one thing they might say, what's wrong? Or they might say, what's the problem? What's the problem, right? Or they might say, what are your symptoms? When they say, what are your symptoms, that's them asking you, what's wrong? Like, what are the problems that you are having? And your symptoms are, I have a fever, I have a sore throat, I have a headache. Those are your symptoms, right? And then they might ask you, well, when did the symptoms start? When did the problems that you have, when did they start? Maybe your fever started the night before, last night. Maybe your cough started 3 days ago. So you can say, they started 3 days ago. They started last night. Okay? Now, after telling the doctor your symptoms, he will tell you the name of your problem. The name of your problem is what we call a diagnosis. A diagnosis. Repeat after me. Diagnosis. Diagnosis. That's the name of your problem. Okay? A diagnosis is when a doctor tells you the medical name of your problem. For example, you tell your doctor your symptoms. I have a fever, a runny nose, and I have been sneezing. Okay? Those are your symptoms. Your doctor says, my diagnosis is that you have the flu. Okay? Now, what we learned in this section here with I have, you have, he has, she has, what we learned there is what we call is the way we explain our problem to the doctors. So this is how you explain your problem. You can do it 2 ways, but we're going to do it the simple way because that's what we're studying right now. I have, okay? Present simple of have. I have a cough. I have a cough. Okay? The present, sorry, let me come back up. The present simple, that's what we're focused on. I was going in the right place. The present simple is used to focus on a situation at the present. It is more common to use the present simple than the present continuous when we see a doctor. My head hurts is more common than my head is hurting. Okay, so my head hurts. What's the problem? My head hurts. Okay. We also use, I have plus the noun. I have a bad back. I have a sore throat. I have a fever. Okay. And then we talk about when we are using when we are telling the doctor an adjective, We say, I feel dizzy. I feel under the weather. I feel run down. These are all things that you can say, but I want us to focus on I have, and then of course, using adjectives to describe our noun. Back is the noun. Throat is the noun. I have a bad back. I have a sore throat. Fever is the noun. I have a terrible fever. Okay. So let's look at some types of illnesses. And I know this is going a little longer than 20 minutes, but I just want to go through this a little more. Actually, no, we're going to go ahead and stop here and we'll pick it up in the next hour. Okay.